can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. We haven't done one of these in a while, but we're going to be talking about some of the upcoming X-Men from the Ashes stuff that was just recently announced. We actually had two different series. I'm going to do two different videos for each of them, but the one we're going to be talking about in this video is going to be Mystique. There's going to be a 5-issue Mystique miniseries spinning out of the X-Men's from the Ashes era. We're going to be basically taking a deeper look into the character herself, and we know already that this is going to be a story that is not only written by Declan Shalvey, some of you may know as the current writer of the Thundercats series over at Dynamite Comics, but he will also be serving as the artist for this series as well. So this is actually really big news, because for those who are unfamiliar, Declan actually, I'm not gonna say got his start at Marvel, but where I first discovered Declan's work was as an artist for Moon Knight, and then later on he would move on to do other series, and then would also move on to do his own writing projects. This is actually really cool to me because I like Declan. He's a really cool dude. I got to talk with him a ways back in regards to Thundercats, and if you haven't checked out that interview, it's right up here. You can go take a look at it over there. But yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good writer, great artist, and yeah, just the fact that he's going to be providing both art and writing for this is just wild to me. We have a press release to look at here, so we're going to kind of run through the whole thing, kind of like as we have done before with some of the other previous From the Ashes announcements, and we'll just go from there. The first press release says she's the mutant murderess you never see coming. This October, which for clarification is going to be October the 16th, when this is going to be dropping for the first issue. It says Mystique headlines an all-new solo series set in the X-Men's upcoming From the Ashes era, written and drawn by award-winning creator Declan Shalvey of Moon Knight and Deadman Logan fame. Mystique will sift through the dark underbelly of the Marvel Universe for an unpredictable tale of action and espionage, starring the world's most mysterious mutant. This doesn't really tell us a whole lot at first, but it basically lets us know that we might be seeing a Mystique who's flying solo dolo in this. While a lot of you who are fans of the the Krakoa stuff, you probably already know this, but Mystique and Destiny recently got officially married. Technically, they were just kind of renewing their vows. They had been married for quite some time, but due to the Comics Code Authority of yesteryear, she and Destiny never really had an official wedding. They were just considered partners. But in more recent years, really over the last like decade or more, they've kind of leaned more into the fact that they are actually married. So just I believe it was this past month or two, they had a wedding one shot that was basically making the whole thing official, even though technically it's been official in my eyes for a while, but just in the eyes of the canon itself, it is official. Right here, as I was literally just talking about Destiny, we get a little bit more of an idea of whether or not Destiny will appear in any of this. The blurb says, on Krakoa, Mystique reunited with her wife Destiny and forged new relationships with her children, Rogue and Nightcrawler. Now that the mutant nation has fallen, Mystique's vicious methods are required once more to protect mutants everywhere. With a hit list as long as her rap sheet, Mystique's actions catch the attention of Nick Fury, erupting in a deadly game of cat and mouse as the elusive shapeshifter infiltrates her way across the Marvel Universe. Complete with a new costume, Mystique's new saga harkens back to her beloved early aughts spy series as she takes on a new and pivotal role in the current mutant landscape. Now, what they're talking about here, like the first thing I really want to address here is when they're talking about the early aughts series, they're talking about the one that was by Brian K. Vaughan and Jorge Lucas. That was a series that, if I'm not mistaken, ran for about 20 some odd issues, like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 or 24 some odd issues. And I believe while it started with Brian K. Vaughan, by the time it ended, it had a different writer altogether. But yes, that part is pretty cool because during that series, yes, Mystique was more of like a spy thriller style story, a lot of espionage, a lot of like seedy underbelly stuff. It was a really good series, and if you've never read it, I highly recommend go check it out. But the whole idea of this being more of a spy focus thing, more of an espionage style story, is a pretty cool little take. And I feel like, well, yeah, this is going to be Mystique operating in what appears to be kind of like anti-hero style trappings, which, I mean, that's par for the course for Mystique as of late. She has become a much more, I don't want to say affable figure. I think she's always kind of had a little air of affableness to her, but she's becoming a character that's a lot easier to root for than maybe you might have felt previously. In the past, before they kind of went back and retconned a bit more of her history with Nightcrawler, now it kind of makes her appear less of a terrible mother and bad person and more of a person who is morally gray, but also more willing to do the bad things people won't do to get good shit done. That's kind of how Mystique has evolved as a character, kind of in a, I won't say the exact same trajectory as a character like Magneto, but I would say more of a middle ground between Magneto and Emma Frost. The next thing they bring up is, how do you track a subject with a history that contradicts itself? How do you stop a force whose motives change like Quicksilver? How do you stop a target that can be anyone? That's the question that confronts Nick Fury as he stumbles upon a web of lies and espionage leading back to Mystique. From the ashes of Krakoa, the shape-shifting mutant terrorist returns to remind the world exactly why it hates and fears her. Now, this is something that I think is interesting because I wonder if this is just from Nick Fury's perspective on why Mystique is the bad guy here. Yes, they're probably going to go back and readdress some things from Mystique's past, maybe even retcon some things from Mystique's past, maybe a little something to keep her with a little bit of that same stink on her of villainy that a lot of fans loved about her in the beginning, but also still allow her to evolve as a character. I don't really know where they're going to go with that. I mean, this is Declan Shalvey. It can really go any way. But I like the idea of it. I kind of like the aspect that while, yes, it's teasing that she is going to be freedom fighting for mutant kind, as she kind of always has, but, she's going to be doing it from maybe a slightly different perspective this time around. But at the same time, she's still going to be doing things that are going to upset the status quo of humanity, which I think is always a good thing to do. All in all, this book sounds like it's going to be fun. Like, it's going to be a fun book that's also going to kind of mess with your idea of who Mystique is as a person. And I think that's honestly the best way to write Mystique. You shouldn't write Mystique as like a just straightforward character, because that's not who or even what she is. She's a character who is mercurial, as it was kind of hinted at when they said she constantly changes like Quicksilver. I like that. I think that's actually a really cool thing to do with her, and to, once again, keep the quotey fingers Mystique about Mystique. As far as what Declan has to say about the series, he goes on to say that Mystique is hands down one of the most compelling characters to come from the Marvel Universe. To have an opportunity to put my own stamp on such an iconic character and showcase her in a series of her own is a unique privilege. And that, as a rabid X-Men fan since childhood, he's having a blast channeling all his X enthusiasm into writing and drawing this project. In this series, Mystique is reeling from the fall of Krakoa. She's a rogue element with no accountability, putting a mysterious plan into action, ruthlessly destroying anything and anyone in her way. Part of me wonders if a lot of the story, what is going to be kind of framed around, it's not just saving mutant lives, but maybe also trying to get back some semblance of what was lost with Krakoa. Maybe even trying to eke out a modicum of revenge against maybe whatever is left of Orcus. It's difficult to say at this point, but whatever the case is going to be, this book is going to be awesome, and I can't wait till October 16th when it drops. I'm going to be looking very forward to this. I will definitely say there's a lot of stuff that's spinning out of the X-Men side of things right now. One of the key things I was really worried about, and it's something that kind of started with the Krakoan era, there were a lot of little 4 or 5 issue miniseries that were spawning out, and well, I think a lot of them were good. Sometimes it felt like there was just too much going on, and I am starting to get more concerned than I already was when Tom Brevoort was talking about having a lot of X titles. It's going to be more of that. Now, the one saving grace is that this is going to be a 5-issue limited mini series or whatever, so there's that. I'm okay with that. I don't think it needs to be like an ongoing, not everything needs to be an attempted ongoing series, but still, it's like, man, it's gonna be a lot of books. It's gonna be a lot of books, and I feel like we're gonna be going right back to the The same problem X-Men has always had. Too many damn stories going on. And while I do feel like and I think I'm going to echo something that you heard Gail Simone say, you don't have to read everything. And I kind of hope that, well, yes, in the past people have said that, and it's not really been true. Technically, it's been true to some extent. I do feel like some context is lost when you don't read everything, but I will definitely say I will be taking that advice. I will not be reading everything. Like, yes, I'm going to give everything a try, but I'm not going to be just reading every X-Men everything just because it's X-Men. Like, and I kind of maintain that energy over the course of the Krakoan era. A lot of you probably have noticed that I never really covered books that I didn't like books like Excalibur. I mean, I covered it off and on when something important happened, and I didn't cover every single solitary issue of X Factor. I kind of jumped around on X Factor a little bit. Knights of 10, didn't cover everything on that. I think I did one video for X Corp, and I think maybe there was, the Deadpool series. I didn't do a video for the Deadpool series. It was kind of technically a part of all the Krakoa stuff. So I think you guys kind of know by now that, like, if you don't hear me talk about it, it's not to say I don't like it. I just don't have the time for it. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. But I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Are you excited for a Mystique series or pass on a Mystique series? I don't know. You let me know what you think. You guessed it, obligatory channel outro time. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider doing so. Clicking that subscribe button and tapping that notification bell ensures that you get more videos just like this one, and you don't miss any of my other content that I drop throughout the week, plus my live streams every Thursday and Saturday. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure you click that like button, keep it plus ultra, and sound off in the comments.